It is Wednesday, May 6. Welcome to CGN News. Jamaican police seized an estimated $35 million worth of compressed ganja last evening. 4 persons are in custody with connections to a multi-million-dollar drug seizure. It is reported that about 8:45 p.m. a joint police-military team carried out coordinated operations at 2 premises in the Spur Tree area. During the search, approximately 8,700 pounds of compressed ganja were seized, according to the police. Jamaica has been added to the European Union's blacklist of countries that have been accused of being too soft on money laundering. But Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark is pushing back against the characterization. Back in February, Jamaica was among 7 countries that were placed on a grey list by the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, for gaps or failures in stemming the financing of terrorist groups or money laundering. The finance minister said that Jamaica ended up on the list because FATF has focused on countries where the economy's size is above a certain threshold, which is $5 billion of financial assets. Panama, the Bahamas, Mauritius, Barbados, Botswana, Cambodia, Ghana, Jamaica, Mongolia, Myanmar, Nicaragua and Zimbabwe are said to pose significant threats to the financial system of the Union because of failings in tackling money laundering and terrorism financing. St. Lucian Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says he has not given any real thought in selecting a new election date amid concerns that the COVID-19 pandemic may have altered his plans for announcing a date for general elections later this year. General elections are constitutionally due by March 2021, but Gonsalves said voters will be given the opportunity to elect a new government ahead of the 3-month grace period. The ruling Unity Labour Party, which came to power in 2001, and the main opposition New Democratic Party had been staging political events prior to March 11, when the island recorded its first case of COVID-19 that subsequently led to the country to impose measures to curb the spread of the virus. Dr. Gonsalves disclosed that he has held discussions with opposition leader Dr. Godwin on Friday and had drafted a letter to the Governor-General regarding the appointment of the Election and Boundaries Commission. Caribbean Airlines is reopening its ticket office in Bridgetown. Details in a press release revealed that Barbados' ticket office will reopen today, May 6. Barbados has entered Phase 2 in its quest to safely establish reopening in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Overseas now, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says the country will not have open borders with the rest of the world for a long time to come. Ms. Ardern was speaking after attending part of Australia's cabinet meeting via video link. The meeting discussed a possible trans-Tasman bubble where people could go between Australia and New Zealand freely and without quarantine. Both Australia and New Zealand have closed their borders to almost all foreigners as part of their COVID-19 response.
Of course, as I've always said, that the advantage we have of getting back control of the virus has been to try and get back to some form of normality. International travel won't feel like that for some time, but if we can find a way to make it work with Australia, then that would give that sense of normality.
Tourism is one of New Zealand's biggest industries, directly employing almost 10% of the country's workforce and contributing almost 6% of GDP. Most visitors are from Australia, followed by China, the US and the UK. Britain on Tuesday became the first country in Europe to confirm more than 30,000 coronavirus deaths, and infections rose sharply again in Russia, even as other nations made great strides in containing the scourge. China marked its 3rd week with no new reported deaths, while South Korea restarted its baseball season. In the US, some states took continued steps to lift the lockdown restrictions that have thrown millions out of work, even as the country recorded thousands of new infections and deaths daily. U.S. President candidate Joe Biden has demanded justice over the killing of an unarmed black man, Ahmaud Arbery, in the U.S. state of Georgia. Mr. Arbery, 25, was jogging in February when confronted by an ex-policeman and his son. Video purported to show the shooting emerged online. It is decided by a prosecutor in the Brunswick jurisdiction that there was no probable cause to arrest Gregory McMichael, 64, and his son Travis, 34. Mr. Arbery was out running in the Statilla Shores neighborhood of Brunswick in Georgia's Glynn County early in the afternoon on February 23. In a police report, Gregory McMichael says he saw Mr. Arbery and believed he resembled the suspect in a series of break-ins. He and his son armed themselves and pursued him in a pickup truck. In the police report, Gregory McMichael says he and his son tried to talk to Mr. Arbery. However, Mr. Arbery subsequently attacked his son. Shots were fired, with Mr. Arbery falling to the street. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. That's it for CGN News. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Scott Wilson.